that up a little. Just miss. Good morning. Today for you, just going to have a cushion to sit on, just a bit of height under the hips, and maybe a yoga strap, maybe your blocks. You may or may not need them, so they're just there as an option for you, as always. We moved in our yin class this week. We really focused on a lot of the movements of the spine, and so today we'll do that. Most yoga practices do go through all the ranges of motion of the spine. Excuse me, but with an awareness today we're going to do that. So come into a cross-legged position so you can find that nice long spine. Really bring the awareness into the center. Drop the shoulders down the back, reach the crown of the head up. So here we're starting to talk about lengthening the spine. We're reaching the crown of the head up as we root the sitting bones down. So there's a movement that the spine has, this extension, axial extension, where it pulls it a little longer. And it's first thing in the morning for me, so first thing in the morning the spine can feel a little stiff. The ligaments are at their tightest, but the pads between the spine are nice and plumped up from lying down sleeping all night, and they flatten out as the day goes on, but the ligaments free up, so we get the opposite going on at the end of the day. So it can feel a little stiffer in the morning, and it's always a good practice to try things at the beginning of the day and also try at the end of the day, and just note the difference in your body. Just take a couple of breaths to settle in. Sigh out anything that's going on. The jaw and the head a little shake and a nod, just to loosen up through the neck, the jaw. Let go of any tensing and gripping around the eyes. Reach the fingertips down to the floor, arms are out in line with the hips. Again, sometimes when we bring the fingertips to the floor, if they reach the floor, you find that you grow a little taller. You find that you've got a little bit more support from the earth, and we can work in opposition from that. We root down to rise up. And then we'll just open the arms, inhale, look up, and exhale, just bring the hands back down to the heart center. We'll do a couple of rounds of that. Open through the arms, look up and lift the heart a little. It's not just gazing up with the neck, it's looking up with the heart. Exhale, hands down through center. And again, open up. Back down to the heart. And then we're going to sweep the arms up. And we're going to reach our right hand down and reach our left arm up and over. So the side bend, lateral movement. Tuck your right elbow in as you lean, so we don't flare it out. Press into the floor. Inhale, so you can link your movement with breath. Exhale over to the other side. Plant that left hand. Reach the right arm across. Inhale, we sweep up. Sink the shoulders away from the ears as you lean over towards the right. Keep that left hip nice and heavy. Move back to center. We inhale. And we exhale. One more each side. Big breath in. Sink the shoulders down to the ears. Keep them out of the ears as you lean across. So we're trying not to hike the shoulder up towards the ear. Back through center on the inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Reach across towards the right, to the left. And then lift up all the way back through center. Keep the arms up. We're going to exhale and we're going to turn and widen the elbows into like goalpost arms and turn towards the right. So finding a twist. Back to center. And then we twist to the left. Draw the elbows down as if you're pulling through something, using the core muscles. Lift the lower ribs away from the hips. Exhale, we turn. Inhale, hands up over the head towards touching. Exhale, feel the core engaged to turn you a little deeper. We bring the spine out. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Empty the breath, squeeze the navel back. Inhale, arms up. Keep the shoulders away from the ears as you exhale. Inhale, we come back through center. The arms are getting a little workout here as well. We're going to keep the elbows wide into that goalpost shape arms, and we're going to lift the heart up, finding a back bend. And then you're going to reach your arms forward, palms come to touch, and round through the spine like a seated cat-cow, palms to touch. Inhale, open the elbows wide, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, round through the spine, navel draws back, almost like you could fall backwards, reach the palms forward. Inhaling, like a seated cat-cow. Exhale. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. This time we're going to open the arms again, and then we're going to wrap our left arm underneath the right one. Start to crawl the fingers towards each other on the back, and then you could stay here. You could start to try and bring the backs of the arms towards each other, or if you combined, you can press the palms together and you spin the thumbs towards you and the pinkies towards the front of the mat. Then lift up a little higher. I'm going to turn sideways. See that? Shoulders slide down the back. The upper arms are trying to get parallel to the floor, trying to take the forearms away from me. So you could be just with the backs of the hands together. You could even be just with the forearms together if that works for you rather than the bind. Nice. And then just for a couple of rounds, we're going to lift the chest, look up, find that back bend, and then on the exhale, keep the spine relatively long. We're just going to let the elbows draw into the chest, so we just round the upper back a little, not the lower back so much. Inhale, lift up, lift the elbows a little higher. Exhale to the chest, the head can hang. One more. Inhale to lift up. Exhale. Come back to center. Untangle the arms. Remember which one's on top. We're going to open the arms out wide. This time we cross the left one under the right. If you were there last time, didn't get them muddled up. Sometimes the hands can't bind for some of us. Some of us might just be the backs of the hands working towards each other. If you can bind, you're looking to get the palms to press, and then the pinkies spin away from the face and the thumbs spin towards the face. Remember, option is that you just bring the forearms together here. Soften through the shoulders. Don't let the shoulders hike up. Let them slide down the back. Crown of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling. We're looking for that nice long spine. Big full breaths into the upper back. And then here we're going to find that little back bend again. So squeeze the navel back so that the back bend is more in the upper back. We're just going to lift the chest. And then exhale. A little movement in the upper back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Little rounding through the upper back. Lift the forearms again and the elbows in line with the shoulders. Reach the arms out, take them wide. Are we talking to you now? Reach them forward. Plug those straight arms back into their sockets so we feel that alignment happening now. So the spine's nice and long. Then let the hands come back down onto the knees. We're going to lean back. And just change the cross of the legs. Whichever one was in front, now tuck it behind. Look for a nice long spine. Reach up nice and tall. This is where some of us might want blocks under the hands. Start to lean forward, but I don't want you to round through the spine. We're not looking for flexion here. Not so much. Just want to lean in. Keep the spine nice and long. Lift the back of the neck so we don't slide the chin forward. We want to draw the back of the neck long. A little bit of work around the lower back and hips. Find the breath, don't lose the breath. You can crawl in a little more, depending on the time of day for you. It often will depend on how the body feels about this movement as well. And then from here, Super slow, just walk across. Different from our yin practice in that we're really active here rather than letting ourselves fold forward. Reach that left arm further forward. Your right hand can press into the mat or fingertips into the mat to turn you a little more. Don't let the shoulders slide up the ears. Reach that left arm across. Long through the back of the neck. Big stretch into that left side of the body. And a twist. And then we're going to come back towards center. Just pause in the middle. Notice what you notice. And then we'll take it off to the left. So the hands walk towards being about either side of that left knee. Press the left fingertips into the mat so you feel yourself deepen a little into the twist. Your navel's turning towards that left knee, then reaching that right arm forward. Don't let the shoulder hike up. Breathing into that right side of the body. Breathe into the tension. Full breath in, full breath out. Even longer out if you can. And then walk the hands back towards the knee to bring you upright a little. Then back through center. And just take a pause here in a neutral position. Bring the hands back a little. Find that length again in the spine. Notice what you lost. And then bringing yourself all the way back upright. Hold on to the shins or the knees. Lean back. Plant the hands back behind you. Feet a little wider. And then just that little rock from side to side. Couple of options here for coming into tabletop, which is where we're heading next. One is that you just tuck the feet off to the side. Two is that you cross your ankles and you pull the feet back towards the sitting bone and then you roll over the knees. Be careful of the knees, and if you want to play around with this sometimes having our blocks can really help give us a little bit of height to help lift away from the floor. So when we've got the feet tucked back, when you've got the blocks here, it's lifting me much further away from the floor, so there's not so much pressure on the knees. So it's a little easier sometimes to find our hands to the floor. So clear the decks out of the way, pop your props off to one side. Coming into your tabletop position, just hands in under the shoulders, knees in under the hips. Spin the biceps forward. We hug that imaginary block between the forearms. We're just going to let the belly drop, look forward. Heart slides forward, finding a back bend. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the chin to the chest, upper back to the ceiling, round through the spine, but send the hips back to the heels. And then you might find that you need to slide your arms a little further forward. Press the hands into the mat. Spin the biceps towards being upwards rather than flaring out to the sides. Even if they don't make it, that action's there. We want to keep the inner hand rooted to the mat. Hug that imaginary block. Straight arms plug back into their sockets. And then we're going to come back up again into tabletop. Look forward, find our cow pose. And then again, round through the spine. Press the mat away, chin to chest, upper back to ceiling. All the way back to the heels. Look forward. Start to create that back bend in the upper back as you come up. And then rounding through the spine. Chin to chest. Sitting bones towards the heels. Couple more like that. You can bend the elbows here as well. For some of us, you might be able to almost get the forearms down to the floor and slither your way through. And then round through the spine. It's almost like a circular movement. So forearms could come down, heart slides forward, shoulders away from the ears. Just creating this circuit. And it may feel a bit awkward and uncomfortable and disjointed to start with, but as time goes on, maybe it starts to become a little more connected. Forearms can come down, slide the heart forward, weight goes into the hands as you look forward. Last one. And then we're going to pause with our hips back towards our heels. Slide the hands back enough that you can just start to widen your knees out. Press the palms into the mat again. And we're plugging those straight arms back into the sockets. Just notice here, if you can see me, that when I reach forward too far, my shoulders come up around the ears. So I want to create space between the ears and the shoulders. So there's still the same work in the arms. The arms are still reaching, but we're plugging those straight arms back into the sockets, sliding the shoulder blades down the back. The forehead could reach the floor, but maybe it doesn't. But I want you to feel as if the forehead is reaching, or the crown of the head is reaching towards the space between the arms, and that you're lifting through the back of the neck. So don't want the throat to open and collapse. Pressing the palms down, much more active again than our yin style poses. Long spine here if you can. Reach a little more. Press the palms a little firmer. Keep breathing. Nice. And then we're going to walk the hands over towards the right. Reach that left arm a little further forward. Same action in the arms here. We're still looking to spin the biceps up. We're not letting ourselves collapse. We're keeping a nice level spine here. Keep crawling those left fingertips further away from the left hip. Keep the left hip drawing back. It's a beautiful big stretch into that left side of the body. And then we're going to walk that all the way over to the other side. Cross to the other side. You'll probably crash into your own thigh, but that's okay. It's more about the reach than it is the distance we get across towards the left. So keep reaching this right arm forward. And we're not looking like in yin. Often we collapse the shoulder down where we allow ourselves to let the ribs fall towards the floor. Here I want you to try and keep the spine level. Crawl those right fingertips away as you draw that right hip back. Little movements. And then come back to center. Walk the hands back just enough that you can bring your knees back together. So press into the hands, bring the knees back together. We're going to drop the forearms to the floor and step yourself back into a plank position. Make sure I'm not going to hit the wall. Drop into your plank position here. The knees could come down if that feels too much, lifting them up. Then watch for the shoulders again. See how mine are lifting towards the ears? So I want to draw those shoulders down the back. Now if you have got your knees down, just lift them for a beat. We're going to drop the heels to the right, to the left. And then we're going to lift the heels and we're going to drop them to the right. Come back through center. Maybe you lower the knees. Take a breath. Lift the knees. Drop the heels to the left. Back through center. Drop the heels to the right. Back to center. Lower the hips, the knees, and the feet. Press the top of the feet into the mat, and I want you to feel like your pinky side is rolling down, so we feel the inner thighs roll up to the ceiling. Slide the shoulders away from the ears, gently pulling the elbows back towards the hips, so we can slide the heart a little further forward, pubic bones pressing into the mat. Chest lower, slide the hands back, squeeze the navel back so you can press yourself back into your tabletop position. Hands in under the shoulders again, knees in under the hips. This time we want to find that foundation Really important because we're going to load some weight into the shoulders. Index fingers are parallel to each other or turned out a little bit. Play with that for yourself in the shoulders. Hands are shoulder width or a fraction wider for some bodies. Keep the inner hand connected to the floor as you spin the biceps forward. And that could mean that you imagine you're hugging something between the forearms. Press into the floor, draw the ribs back so we keep a long spine, tail reaching away from the crown of the head. Slide that right foot back behind you. See if you can challenge your balance a little here by reaching the left arm forward. And then see if you can lift the right leg up. Don't let the leg dial out. I want you to dial the toes down to 6 o'clock. Reach with the foot and reach with the arm, but we're still staying contained. It's a funny kind of feeling because we're trying to plug in to the center as we reach out from the center. Watch that right hip isn't rising up. And from here I'm going to get you to bring your left hand back to the floor. Your right toes are going to drop back to the floor, and then you're going to turn your toes on that left foot out towards the left, so you've got a little kickstand. Slide your right foot back in line with the knee, and then like a bow and arrow here, I want you to keep your hand nice and close towards your chest as you reach it up towards the ceiling. Now bring your pubic bone towards the navel. We're not trying to find a big back bend here. And then we're just going to do some circles with the arm. So reach it up overhead. You can look down at the floor or you can look up. And then big circles getting into the shoulder joint. Last one, and we'll just hold that up overhead and reach, turn the pinky side down towards the floor. Reach a little further, you can point that back toe. Nice shape of a rainbow here. And then we're going to plant everything back to the floor, back to your tabletop position. Integrate here, so find that alignment in the arms, the hands and the shoulders. Crown of the head reaching away from the tail, knit the front ribs towards the back ribs. This time we slide the left foot back. Watch that the hip doesn't lift. We want to roll that outer thigh towards the floor and the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Plug that left hand down. That's your foundation now. I'm going to reach the right arm forward and then plug it back into the shoulder. Lift that back leg if you like. And breathe. Gently lift the back of the neck so we're not collapsing into the throat. And then we're going to bring that right hand back to the floor. Drop the left toes. Right toes to dial out towards the right side. Make sure that that right hand stays right in underneath its shoulder. We're going to open all the way out to the side now like a bow and arrow. Find your grip. Start to pull your bowstring. Open up, keep the hand close to the chest. Then reach that arm up. And then we'll take those circles. So reach the arm up overhead. Pinky sides turning down towards you. Pubic bone to navel, tailbone down towards the heels. And then the next time the arm comes up overhead, we're just going to hold there, creating that beautiful arc, side bend. And then plant the hand, plant the knee. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog, so tuck the toes under, slide the shoulders away from the ears again. If downward facing dog doesn't suit you today, I just want you to come up to standing however you need to. So tuck the toes under, lift the hips, pedal the feet out here, make it a lazy dog. Swing the hips from side to side. Make sure the hands are plugging into the mat. And then we're just going to start to make our way into a standing forward fold. So you might need to come up onto the fingertips of one hand and step the foot forward, and it could take you dozens of steps to get forward. Fingertips of the other hand, set that foot forward. Feet parallel to each other in hip width. And so this is where we might want our blocks or a strap. So the strap can come in underneath the balls of the feet there. You can use that as a little bit of a lever if you need it. So I want you to look for a long spine first. So hands onto the shins even. Start to lengthen through the spine. Then start to fold in. If you can't reach your toes, if you can take your peace fingers and hook them around the big toes. If you can't reach the toes, then we've got our strap here. So once you've taken a hold of whatever it is you need to take a hold of, and so if you didn't have either a strap or you can't reach your toes, then your hands can be onto your blocks. So find a little bit of length in the spine again. We lift the chest up away from the thighs, and then we fold in actively. So we're pulling onto the blocks or pulling onto the toes to draw ourselves in. This is this axial extension again. So then I want you to lift up and away, straighten the arms out, and then draw the navel back to fold in a little more. Inhale, we lift up again. Exhale, we fold in and hold. So often in yin, we let the shoulders slide down towards the ears. Here I want you to feel the shoulders slide away from the ears and pull on your toes, your strap, or plug into the blocks if you're holding them so that you've got the support. And let the head hang and let the head reach away from the tailbone. Long spine, long neck. Hamstrings getting long here too. You can bend the knees if you need to. And then release the strap, release the toes. You could keep your hands on the blocks if you've got them, and that could be a nice way to set yourself back down to the floor. Just step back through downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet again. Drop the knees. And then we're just going to come down onto our backs. Slide everything out of your way. Tuck the feet off to one side, hips to the other. Swing the legs around. And then all the way down onto your back. Just curl in, oh nice little clip there. Rock from side to side. Just a nice easy twist here. So straighten out that left leg. Take the right arm out in line with the shoulder. And just start to guide yourself over towards the left side. Just enough. Just an easy twist. Come back to center. Hug both knees in again. Straighten out the right leg. Left arm out in line with the shoulder. Over you go to the right. Hand could stay as a support for you underneath the knee or the shin, or you can drop over, pop the hand onto the thigh. Back to center on the exhale, toning the abdominals. Hug the knees in one more time. Just little circular movements with the knees, giving the lower back a massage. Take that in the other direction. And then curl into a little ball. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Squeeze in. Inhale back down. Exhale, curl up. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then let it all go. Legs could be out long. Knees could fall together, feet apart. That's a sequence that you could repeat if you feel like you want a little bit of a longer practice. You could repeat that and leave out the last twist until the very end. So you could skip the twist and hold the forward fold a little longer. See where you can soften. Soften into the shoulders. Let the breath slow down. Feeling into the length of the spine from tail to the crown of the head. Even though the spine physically doesn't go to the crown of the head, it goes to the base of the skull. But energetically, it comes right up to the crown and through the crown. Sensing into your own midline, your own centre. And then as always, if you've got time to stay with this, I recommend 5-10 minutes if you've got that within your day, but at least a couple of minutes. If it's time for you to move on into the day or into the evening, then just rolling onto a side, pressing yourself up into any seated position. Looking again for that long spine. Imagine that you've got a string tied to the crown of your head and that it's drawing you upwards, that the weight of the sitting bones connecting down into the earth. So we've got this lovely opposition. Shoulders soft, jaw soft. Bring the hands to connect. And then bowing down to yourselves and to each other. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. See you again soon. Let me know how you're going.